Hi everybody, I'm Butch Stearns here at HealthIT 2012 with Marshall Busko from Amerinet. How are you, Marshall?
I'm doing great. Butch,
Good.
How about yourself?
I'm doing well. This has been an amazing couple of days, hasn't it?
It's been fantastic. It's such great.
Hold that right up close to your mouth.
It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
It's such a great wealth of content. I think it's right on the mark about what's going on in healthcare today as well.
Talk about Amerinet. Talk about what you guys do.
Okay. Amerinet is a group purchasing organization. We service about 2,200 hospitals and about 70,000 non-acute practices.
Wow.
So we've got a pretty broad reach.
And what's your business model?
Our business model is we generally work with suppliers in the field who are the best in their class, if you will.
Okay.
So we look for people who can provide a wide array of services from supply chain through capital and construction. We have contracts with them, and then we introduce those people to the hospitals so that they can help the hospitals solve their problems.
So in 2012, and in this healthcare environment, what are some of the problems that maybe people don't think about, that common pain points that hospitals have, or hospital groups?
Well, probably every hospital has some type of cost constraint. There's also problems with compliance to all the alphabet soups out there with high-tech air and so forth like that. People are chasing dollars. Margins are being depressed. Labor's a problem in some places.
Yeah.
So hospitals have those problems that are always top of their list. So complying with that, government mandates, and then being able to make margin is pretty difficult.
So with Amerinet, you're obviously a solutions company. You're providing solutions by, getting all these solutions together for your clients. So what are some of the things that you guys are proud that you do? Or what do you focus on? What does Amerinet do best, in your opinion?
Well, we started out as a supply chain organization, as most group purchasing organizations did.
Okay.
And that was around medical surgical supplies, pharmacy, laboratory supplies, radiology. Within the last 10 years, our scope has expanded. So now we're in areas of capital and construction. We're in outsourcing. We're looking at IT in a big fashion, revenue cycle. So we can help a hospital with about anything a hospital spends money on, and help that hospital save in operations and have a positive drop through to their bottom line.
Yeah, I find it interesting because looking at your company, congratulations on your success, by the way. In this day and age, to me, the ones that are good solutions companies, our providers, it's a balance. It's just my opinion. Tell me if you agree. There's a balancing act from defining and focusing on what you do best, but also trying to provide solutions to your clients, which may lead you very quickly to something you don't do well that you may have to outsource and find a strategic partner for.
Well, it's interesting you said that, because one of the things we like to do is we meet with our member C-suite, and we ask them what's on their horizon for the next 3 or 4 years. Now, they may throw some things out that we don't service. So that gives us either an opportunity to go out and find a supplier that provides that type of service or product, or to self-develop one.
Right.
So we may make a recommendation that not necessarily is in our portfolio at that point in time, but it's in the best interest of that hospital.
But again, that's where you're practicing what you preach. You're a solutions provider. I mean, I go back to Gary Barnett, who I met yesterday. He's not here today as we're taping this here at HealthIT. And I've said this several times in the last 2 days, but one of the things I found refreshing about Gary was, even though these weren't the exact words that came out of his mouth, his whole theme of everything he said was, hey folks, let's accept one fact to start. We're not going to get all the answers today. And by the way, not one person in this room has all the answers. That's sort of the theme of how he does that. Once you accept that, then an event like this, or when you get together and you work with other companies, it actually becomes a collaborative, a partnership, strategic. You're able to provide solutions.
Absolutely. I think our business model provides us the opportunity to have a win-win-win.
Right.
First, our hospitals, our members, our non-acute practices win because they're getting world-class products and services at a discounted rate. Our suppliers get a win because we're moving market share towards them. So we're making introductions to them into hospitals perhaps they haven't been in before.
Right.
And we win because we crafted the whole opportunity to put it all together.
Right. So let me ask you one final question. It's such an, I'll put it this way, both interesting, exciting, and challenging time in healthcare. I've found these last 2 days very informative, educational, interesting. What's something you got out of these days that either surprised you or reinforced some things that you've been talking and thinking about at Amerinet?
Well, why I really like this venue is because it's such an eclectic mix. We have providers in the audience, we have suppliers in the audience, we have imagination, Imagineers in the audience, if you will, some futurists. We're talking about what's coming down. And what I found very beneficial is that when you put that amalgam together, you get a better perspective of what's happening in the marketplace. Plus, I've identified 2 or 3 solution providers here that I'd like to talk to about incorporating into Amerinet so that we could bring them into our network of hospitals.
Right.
It's just been very valuable.
Yeah, I lied. I have one final question.
Okay.
This is really the final one. As a senior director for IT, I've asked everybody that's involved in IT this question. There's always, to me, a common pain point or one of the common pain points you all have in IT are that there are people within your organization nowadays, especially more so, that want to access documents that maybe they couldn't before, access information. And you in IT have to make that fundamental decision or give them the access to do that. How do you balance allowing people to have that access to that while keeping up with the demand from your clients' end that you need people within your organization to do that? It is a balancing act, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think one of the presenters yesterday sort of had a matrix of a role-based responsibility, where if a person was in a certain role in the organization, they had access to certain types of information within that organization that they needed to perform their function.
Right.
We use that same philosophy within our organization. So as a director, I had access to a certain amount of information, but when I became a senior director, more opened up, and I was better able to do my position. Now I have directors reporting to me.
Right.
So it's a fine line. I mean, we reevaluate our positions pretty much every 6 months as to what's happening, because so much more information is coming at us from all different ways. And we're always bringing more systems together, trying to simplify our procedures and policies.
Marshall, thanks for your time.
Butch, thank you, man.
Continued
I
success
appreciate
with
it.
Amerinet.
Thank you so much.
Marshall Busko from Amerinet, part of our HealthIT 2012 coverage.